Welcome to the weekly flip here with Consignment Chats. Libby, Samantha, and not Molly. We have a special guest. We have Jason, the Santee Swapper. Welcome. And
I
he's
know we
here.
can't replace Molly, but I'll just try to stand in and add some color commentary.
We got to make sure we always have a Southern friend on here, no matter what.
There you go. I'll represent the Carolinas.
There you go.
All right. We got Liz. Woo! Liz, the reseller. Yes. Great job last night, Liz. We were so pleased with the presentation. I just actually recorded a whole reseller reflection right before I came on here, all about that. And I know more about eBay and promoted listings and the changes than honestly I ever wanted to know.
Oh yeah, there was a lot. I woke up with a headache this morning, and I think that's why.
But it was so fantastic that Liz put that together with her meetup group, and it was just so informative, and it was so great to talk to the people that are in charge of this. Yeah. I mean, maybe the outcome's not, great. Nobody wants to spend more money, but for the same thing. But yeah, that's where we're headed, folks.
Yeah.
Did you all come with your pitchforks last night?
Well, I did feel bad at one point. We were like an hour and a half in, and Ken the Hustlebee was like, I want to thank you for coming on and being this exposed. And I was like, oh yeah, we've definitely been yelling at them. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Like part, it was very respectful. And
it was. The whole thing was. It was. And Liz did an amazing job asking questions and
tough ones. Tough ones, man. She didn't sugarcoat anything.
Yes. And everybody in the chat was like, okay, if they talked to Circle about something, they called him out and said, well, that actually didn't answer the question at all, or that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was very, very good. I bet.
Hey, Jill. Jill was there too. Yeah. All right.
Literally exhausted. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I work late. Libby does not normally.
I was well past my bedtime.
Yeah. There was a reason that you couldn't go to the gym that morning. There you go. That was it was to balance out your day a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I normally stay up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I went right after that. I was like, I need to rest.
That's why I have this today.
Oh, you and those
little extra juice.
Little extra.
Any excuse she has to have one of those.
I know. I love them so much.
So bad.
They make me feel so good.
So
everybody needs one vice, right?
So when it comes to that last night, I did take some notes. I took screenshots of like the questions and the answers because they were answering questions in the chat. I'll go through those. I'm sure we'll catch Molly up when she gets back and stuff and go over it. But big takeaways were they do say refrain from touching your promoted listings right now. If you shut everything off in January, that's fine, but avoid touching it now. And when you shut them off in January, like it's going to be a clean slate is what I got from that. Like it's not like all your promoted stuff from before is going to, it sounds like they're literally like flipping a switch and it's a new algorithm and a new setup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a lot of
some people were saying like December 13th is, that was kind of the, people were just making shit up. So that's what somebody had said.
It sounded like you could shut everything off on January 12th and it all starts January 13th or whatever that date was. So that's fine. They actually said multiple times that you could start the new system on January 13th and run it for 28 days or 2 weeks or whatever that you wanted to do. And then you could shut it off. And you will not be charged any promotions after you shut it off. So you could technically turn it on, get views, get all that activity for your listing, and then shut it off. You run the risk of course, it's selling with the promoted. You're going to pay those fees. But if you shut it off, then you don't have to pay any fees after because it is shut off. So there was a lot of talk about strategy and things
There's
about
no
that.
more the halo effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically told us they wanted to stop talking about that because they didn't want people to hear about it when everybody started talking about strategies. So
We call
Too
them
late. I've
hacks.
already mentioned it on Reseller Reflections for
right?
all 20 people that listen to it.
I'm sure it will be on the Seller Club podcast because which is sponsored by eBay. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. But Ken was very passionate about like, okay, I need to come up with a new. He and Sarah Stiles were fantastic. They had their brains were in high gear. They were trying to figure out new strategies and what do you do, and because not everybody just turns it on and lets it go. Like when I had a smaller store, I would go through and like I would let everything be organic for the first month, and then I would turn on a certain percentage, and then I would turn a percentage on, like, you know, up the percentage after a while. Like I had a strategy. It got to the point where I didn't keep up with that strategy, and we talked a lot about that last night about how especially bigger stores are not going to be able to keep up and try to figure out it. This is a very in-depth algorithm and steps that they were talking about, and we're all like, now we have to be data analysts and do all that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like I heard Star Bryson say that she, even before this, would end and start her promoted listings every week. You know, whether that's a best practice or just a hack, as I mentioned, I think probably the latter. But everyone's going to have to figure out what they do going forward. But I also kind of think that, and this is something I picked up from another YouTuber recently, like a lot of times we as resellers fixate on all these little things. Like we like worry about people buying from us that have, you know, a low feedback, all these things we worry about. And
Mhm.
it's just noise and confusion, and it just slows us down. Whereas, you know, listing and sourcing, the things that are going to make you money, really where you need to spend your time, not stressing about, you know, some crazy plan for defeating eBay's money grab. But
Right,
to each
right.
his own.
That is true. That is very, very true. You get those little vines, right? So I
Very
have
much.
to say that I'm pretty sure Sarah Stiles and Ken the Hustlebee have read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I feel like they have
We're
it
using names.
nailed. Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. They Dale Carnegie the heck out of that.
And look where it got them. They're like eBay darlings.
Yeah.
So
Right.
everyone can read that book.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I'd be shocked if they said they hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Ken. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So Liz said what's crazy is she got a different takeaway from that shutting off strategy. And I did as well, from what you said, Samantha.
Okay, go for it.
I thought it was going to change like how your listings showed in the algorithm and they could take a hit, but it sounded like they weren't that sure either.
They
Or
were not.
Yeah. So Liz is waiting on clarification. So we'll be anxious to hear that.
You could definitely take a hit in the algorithm in that part. Yes, for sure. But as far as being charged, that was the thing where people wanted to stop their ads now in December, and so that they weren't charged in that halo. And then they aren't going to have the halo after January 13th. And as soon as you shut it off, you won't be charged if it sells, regardless of how you know, whatever traffic you had beforehand. But yeah, regardless, there's a lot of changes to the algorithm, and either way, I think it's going to take a huge hit. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll be anxious for that update.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So, like, my main takeaways from this are one, if you keep everything as it is, your ad fees are going to increase. Like, that was a definite, they were absolutely, there was no wavering on that one. Your ad fees are going to increase if you keep things the way they are right now. You will have higher ad fees. What they didn't say was whether you'll have higher success or whether your return on ad spend will be better. So those are the things we have to look at. You know, like Samantha said last week, take a screenshot of that now, of what your return on ad spend is, how much you're spending, and then you can adjust your campaign in the new year if you don't want to spend anymore. But take a look at that now and know where you are right now.
Yeah, that was hard because we have been saying that to go and, you know, do, and I did it again last night. I was in a bunch of stuff and I was screenshotting and doing all kinds of things. But then the way that they're changing all of this, we don't even know if they're gonna be looking at the same stuff. I
mean, right. I mean, there's issues with the way that return on ad spend will be measured with this new thing, but at least you'll have a baseline.
Yes.
And the measurements will be the same, although they will not be calculated. Like what's going into them, the attribution will be different. So, but just know where you are right now. That's what you can do. That's the action item. That's the takeaway. Know where you are right now.
I think I have a permanent eye twitch from the word attribution. Yeah.
I love it. I can actually pronounce it
game
too.
last night.
Yeah, there should have been.
Oh, yeah.
I still would have had a headache this morning.
Well, I would say the advice that I've seen other people give, you know, during this time, because literally like every person who is a YouTuber has made a video or 2 or 3 about this, you know, just kind of riding the wave, right? If you want to get some views on your YouTube videos, put something in there about eBay's new promotions. But I think the best advice I've sort of seen is to, you know, like you all are suggesting, you know, look at your business, you know, really think before you leap, and, you know, understand your numbers before you make a decision, and, you know, don't panic. And I'm glad to find out that nothing is really going to happen until January, because I do think a lot of people were already jumping off the ship, you know, and I might have even been part of those people jumping ship. And so that, you know, we all need to kind of take a step back and look at our businesses.
Yes. And that's, yeah, we have to take a step back. I took a very hands-off approach to ads in the last year and just did a blanketed, like, you know, dynamic, whatever. And I need to go back to taking a look at things. And like Jill said, we gotta look at what we're promoting and how we're going to promote it versus promoting everything again.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Kathy. We're on the big screen for Kathy. She's taking photos. She's watching TV. Yay.
All right. Good job.
We love it when we hear we're on the big screen. You won't take an algorithm hit if you stop ads, but not the item. Yeah, there were a lot of people trying to figure out and strategize, like, do I just restart my items every week or do that?
Well, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the whole delist, relist saga to come back into play. I was just waiting. And I was like, I can't believe nobody was like really chatting about that too much.
There's so
it's
many...
just hacks. This is the thing that drives me crazy is people spend so much time focused on hacks that they have invented or some random person put on YouTube, and they're not focused on their business. They're not focused on what really matters. And so this whole thing of relist, delist, you know, gaming the system, I just cringe.
Yeah. We're not going to be advising that in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure of it.
The question is, if a seller ends a campaign, then starts a new one every day, you keep the positive clicks for the algorithm purposes, but you won't pay for the ad. Yeah, I mean, the direct quote was, the moment you don't want to pay ad fees, you just shut it off. I put that in quotations. That was from Kai, I believe. Yeah. So that is so much work to start, restart, do all.
How about send out a newsletter? How about run a sale in your store, you know, rather than, I mean, I know we're talking about this because you just had the big thing last night, but again, I just go back to like the bread and butter of running a good reselling business is not trying to, you know, trick the algorithm or something. I don't know.
So our other Jason Wells, was in our co-working room last night afterwards, and I went in there for a little bit before I decided I needed to go to bed. And that was kind of his thing. He's like, ads aside, can we just all focus on a good title? Like, can we've let AI do it. AI is not even doing the recommended title for an eBay listing. Can we just go back to what eBay says they want in order for the good organic title and a listing and to drive traffic the good old fashioned way? Like, if you focus on that, you essentially shouldn't need a ton of ads and stuff. So yeah, that was a lot of the talk.
Back to basics, back to it's not magic. You just have to list it. And, you know, maybe you don't use promotions and maybe you don't even worry about it. Maybe, you know, This is not something we really need to focus on right now.
All right. Explain a halo to Kathy and what we're talking about. She wasn't able to catch the first part of this.
All right. So the halo is going away, the halo attribution, the halo effect, let's call it. So basically, if somebody clicks right now, this is how it is. This will be changing. There will be no more halo as of January 13th. But if somebody clicks on your item now and they decide to come back and buy it within 30 days, or any of your other promoted listings within 30 days, you will be charged the ad rate that you currently have set. So there's that 30-day halo around it. And that's pretty much all it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to eat my lunch.
Yeah, no problem.
I think it might be a good idea to take your community step by step of the information we should have in our files. So February, we can make some strong, logical decisions.
I think that's a great suggestion. I think we should definitely do that in our Patreon group and just show people like what right now they need to see where they are right now, make sure they're familiar with that data. And then, so, they could let it run for a month and then we'll decide in February. I think that's an awesome suggestion. Thanks, Vanessa. We're definitely going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, go in Seller Hub and look in that ads area and dive deep into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz did say, I think the most people that were attending know that constant delist, relist isn't a smart move. Yeah, I think that's why there was a lot of chatter about it. That's not it. It was a pretty high level group last night. And I don't think there was a lot of the delist, relist craziness that we see in the general public with that.
Yeah.
It's important to know where your ads are being displayed and whether or not that is a good way for you to spend advertising dollars within eBay. Yes.
Yep.
And sites like Google. Agreed.
Yep.
Current halo is per person. The new halo is per item. Yes. And you can shut this halo off, apparently, the moment you don't want to pay fees.
Yeah. So I don't know if it counts as a halo. I don't think that's why they're not calling it a halo, is just because the halo has a lot to do with that time frame. Like there's no more time frame. But yeah, I mean, it is basically the same general thing.
It sounds like the save now and later. I understand that for now, if someone clicks on an item promoted 8% and then later comes back within 30 days. Yes. So right now, if the person does that, then you get your ads. In the future, if that person clicks your item and then the next day I come in and buy your item, regardless of how I clicked into it or whatever, somebody already clicked in via an ad, I purchase it, not an ad, you're still getting paid ad fees because someone clicked on it in the last however many days through an ad. So
good thing Kathy's in our Patreon group, because we'll be walking through this. This is good. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so
well, what was the other feedback from the sort of the or maybe they haven't had a chance to gather their thoughts yet from the other people that you've mentioned, like Ken and Anna or anybody else that was kind of in that eBay group?
I haven't seen anything. I haven't even went on social media this morning though, so that's on me. I did see this morning that there are several other places that eBay is popping up. eBay is watching social medias and they are seeing that people are talking about this and they're making appearances. So there will be more spots for people to watch conversations like this and chime in. I do not remember her name, but I saw one specifically. She's going to have on a YouTube live or something. They're going to have an interview. So yeah, there's going to be more opportunities and more conversations. So this was a good start, a good opening for this.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Liz for kind of being first, going first. And I mean, it's kind of a brave thing to do, to say that this company that you kind of, I mean, I don't know all of her business, but let's just say she depends on them, she's in partnership with them to kind of bring them to the roast, so to speak. That's pretty brave. So thank you for doing that, Liz.
Yeah.
So the main guy, Kai, he came from Google. He worked there previously, and then he's worked for eBay for the last year or less than a year. And he, at the end, we all kind of took a breath and we're like, we do appreciate you being here. And he said he's never seen passion like this eBay community. He's like, that is one of the biggest differences he saw coming from one tech company to another one, essentially, is, you know, this is our livelihood. We're all running businesses and paying our bills and depend on platforms like this to do it. And we're all very passionate about it. And he definitely recognized that. They saw a lot of that last night. And then at the end, I didn't stay all the way till the end, but they did. Liz opened it up to them to ask questions to the community as well. There was still like 60 people in there. She had a really good turnout. And they were asking things like, where do you guys get your eBay news? Where do you get these updates? And I'll be honest, I read that email from them last week after I'd already talked to like 10 people about their take on it and stuff. Like it's not from their emails. It's not from their bulletin updates. It's not like we're getting it.
Circle. You would think you would get more news than some other people would.
I think that is one thing we didn't ask last night is why didn't they inform everybody at eBay Open or the circles or all that ahead of this? But
well, that was one of the criticisms, that it just, trying to fly under the radar, and such a big change for our bottom line.
Yeah. So they took a lot of notes at the end, and they got a lot of feedback as far as like, we all miss the eBay for Business podcast. And
yes,
Griff had explained this, I think, but I've gone over a lot better.
Yes, and that's what everybody said, the personalities and the friendliness, and we loved getting our little bite of news each week from Griff and Brian, and was it Jessica that was there before, like all the people that had been on there before. It was fantastic. So we talked about that, and social media and all that stuff, and there was some other good chit chat afterwards. I took off after that, but
the thing is, let me just chime in on that, Samantha. The thing is that in a vacuum, I can't even count, scrolling on my YouTube feed, how many resellers there are now doing YouTube and sharing their commentary and all that kind of good stuff. And as I've mentioned, some of it's kind of questionable advice. But in a vacuum, where eBay doesn't have a podcast that they are investing in. And I realized that, Griff, it was time for him to retire, and we loved him. But, like, you're a big company, like, hire someone else. Like, who's the next person to come in? And maybe their thought is like, oh, we can have Ken and Anna and that Reseller Club.
They do sponsor the Seller Club podcast. But it's not the same because well, no, because I love the Seller Club podcast, and I love the fact that they do interview a lot of eBay employees on there. If someone has questions, they get the answer from eBay. They have a ton of resources, but eBay isn't giving them a weekly news update. eBay isn't like, hey, this is what we're rolling out, or this is what we're working on. Like, they're not. Griff got that. Griff got Griff, this week
he had an office in San
Jose.
Not that he was there in the end. He was in Palm Springs or whatever, but he was an insider. He worked for him.
Yeah. It was different, and
that was a huge loss to the community. Yeah,
bring back Doug. Trying to catch up on all these.
At the end, Kaomi was on that podcast. They had some people that are still around, I think, but
yeah. And Kaomi was there last night too. Yep, Scott Henkel was there. That I didn't realize he was Kai's boss, but he was there. Rishi, I don't remember everybody's names, but there was like 5 or 6 eBay employees there. Like it was really good, and they all popped in and out and answered things, and
very, very informative. Very informative.
So thank you, Liz, and there'll be lots coming out about all of that, and they're going to do more interviews, so it's going to be a thing for the next 2 months.
But we're not going to get sidetracked by this, because really it is in our control whether we shut that on, off, adjust the percentages. Yes, it's important that you understand it and where you are now, but we're not going to get sidetracked. We're going to keep doing our business, and we're going to keep listing and doing the magical thing, right? And being consistent.
Yeah, in a way, maybe it's good that it's nothing's good about it. I don't want to frame it that, but that people are kind of realizing that they need to kind of like, instead of putting things on autopilot with a lot of things in your business, you
Mhm.
do kind of need to look at these things and check on them and see, look at those, that ad tab as we're talking about, and look and see what your ROAS is and how much you're spending, and just pay attention to the numbers. I think that'll help guide you rather than making knee-jerk decisions because you heard somebody say something on YouTube and it got your gander up.
Yep. Return on ad spend is what ROAS is for those that are sick of the all of the
Acronyms. I
acronyms.
know. All right. All right. Here we go. Kathy, nothing can sell if it isn't listed with or without a promotion. So
Amen.
keep on keeping on.
That's
Yep.
right.
So Jason, you had some interesting, speaking of keeping on, you did some interesting things with your eBay store or stores this week. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it kind of came from this whole thing of promotion. So maybe I'm trying to, take my own medicine here. So, and let me just kind of walk you through this because I think this is something anybody could do, and you might find it kind of interesting. What happened for me was a couple of things. One is that I had noticed that in my category, which is scouting memorabilia, that's where mostly I'll sell stuff. I had noticed that some people were selling stuff that I had and getting way more money for it. And I was sort of like, why? And so I had kind of in this mind that I need to kind of dig down deeper and kind of figure out what's going on in my business. So what I did was ChatGPT, everybody's new robot friend. I went into eBay, and if you go all the way over to reports, I had actually never done this. So I've been on eBay since 1998, and I've never done this. So maybe other people have not done this either. So here's a tip for you. I'd gone over to reports, and you can go to a download, and I downloaded all of my active listings, and I downloaded all of my sold orders from 2025. And so I went into ChatGPT and kind of told it what I was thinking. I said, can you analyze
I love
these
doing this.
numbers and tell me the breakdown? Because what I really wanted to understand was like, I have items in my store, for example, that I sell that are between like, $1 and $5, $5 and $10, and some items over 1,000, that sort of thing. But I wanted to kind of understand in my store, where were my sales coming from, And so it broke it down for me. Literally, like I can tell you that in that range of $5 to $10, that's where 42.5% of all my sales came from. And it's also where 49.1% of my inventory is listed at that price. And so as I'm like asking it questions, and the robot's talking back to me, my idea was like, if I just raised my prices just a smidge, like $1 in that range of 5 to 10, just move something from like $4.95 to $5.95 or $7.95 to $8.95, that kind of thing. And I could ask it like, if I raised these items by $1, how much would it change the value of my store? And it, spit back all the math at me and everything like that. And really, the reason I was doing this was based on this promotions dilemma. Is that if I'm going to run promotions, and I know that eBay is going to take, pretty much as we've all said, it's like everything's going to be treated as if it's a promoted ad once this thing gets up and rolling and everything gets clicked on. So, can I increase my margin just a smidge on the items that sell the best for me? So that's what I did. I spent all day Saturday. My wife was out of town. My son was kind of just having a veg out day. And so I spent a lot of time editing, bulk editing in my store to just tweak my prices just a little so that when this thing does kick in, I feel like I could run promoted ads and would kind of, it not that it would pay for itself, but that it would not hopefully reduce my bottom line in 2026 based on what my real sales have been in 2025. So there you go. I wouldn't say it's an experiment, but that was just my little tweaking project.
Yeah, I think that's really, really cool. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got to adjust their prices too. And I mean, we're paying, an extra dollar here, an extra dollar there for everything else in this world right now. And when they specifically asked eBay, why are you doing this? And why didn't you just up the actual fees? Like, why didn't you just say eBay has a 16% fee now or whatever? Like, They said this was simpler, and then they went off on some explanation that I didn't follow at all because it wasn't simple. And then and then they were talking about, oh sorry, my phone's going off. I totally lost my train of thought.
They were saying it was simpler.
Yeah. Well, they were just essentially saying, well, we should have charged you more fees for ads in the beginning, and we're just trying to adjust with the market now. So I mean, they're playing the same game we are. They're just or so they're telling us. They're just trying to adjust with the market and inflation. We're getting inflation everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
that's what I'm trying to butt in and say, Samantha. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I listened to one just yesterday, and they were talking about inflation, and he said something about like basically since like 2020, cumulatively we've had about 25% inflation. And I don't know if he was referring to housing because this was a podcast talking about housing costs, but you know, inflation has been really like, you know, for us as resellers, honestly, and this is kind of where my brain was like, if I'm not raising my prices, then I'm letting myself, you know, be on the short end of the stick here. Like, that's just what's happened in the grocery store. We all see that.
Right.
You know, thank God the gas prices are kind of coming down for whatever, you know, macroeconomic reasons.
Don't
But
jinx
all of
it.
us are paying more for everything. So I'm like, you know, I need to get in there, like, you know, just see. This is why I ran these numbers to see where could I raise my price by even just $1 on every item, but it would kind of cascade, you know, hopefully, and help me stay kind of like, you know, level. Inflation.
I don't like using AI for a lot of stuff. Like I don't ask it every question of my life like a lot of people do. However, I love running reports like that. I haven't done one for pricing strategies, but I did it. It helped me consolidate, or not consolidate, but reconcile my inventory. When I was switching from LP and going into Nifty, and I downloaded like my main one from Consign Cloud. I downloaded eBay. And I had it like cross reference all the CSVs and make sure like, okay, what has fallen off of here? What is not supposed to be here? Like that kind of thing. So I had a lot of fun doing different things with that. And it's so nice that we can just put reports in there and then say, show me this or tell me this. And it's pretty cool.
Oh, I just got an idea.
Yeah, because you know, most all of us are just like one person.
I did.
You know, shops, and so you don't have anyone to do this for you. You know, so I guess, you know, whether you want to pay a $20 a month fee for any of the paid versions, but I am paying it. I'll just admit, just because I've found it so useful in many things. But yeah, I'm not asking it for, you know, life advice and stuff. But
and
a lot of people are.
No shade to
that's where you
any
get
of
in
you
trouble.
that are. Yeah,
don't do that. Just but if you want to feed it a CSV file full of, you know, sales numbers, I think you're pretty safe.
I don't know who's watched the movie Companion.
Anybody
in the comments? Anyway, it's a pretty good cautionary AI tale.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend watching it.
I have watched all episodes of Black Mirror though, and there are several in there that oh yeah. Samantha's on thin ice for not being the podcast yesterday. I messaged Ray back. Tuesdays are flipping hard, guys. And then Liz adds 9 p.m. meetings. Like, come on. I needed some time in the middle. But no, we do have all of our masterminds and all the stuff at the same time you guys record. And it was a total fluke that I could join a couple weeks ago. So I hate to break it to the world right now. I will not be joining their podcast permanently because I can't give up mastermind accountability on our end. So unless they change their time, which right now they're not even willing to pay for Diamond's dog food. Ray said he didn't even know who Diamond was, and that broke my heart a little bit. So I'm going to choose to stay with Consignment Chats, Joe. I'm sorry.
Wait, is Molly really on vacation, or has she gone over?
You know, part of me thought their episode's going to come out on Thursday, and Molly's going to be in it because she has been Marco Poloing, which I have not looked at any of them. I'm way behind. But she clearly still has some sort of service, even though I thought she was on a boat already. But part of me has wondered if she snuck over there because she wasn't at our mastermind meetings. So.
Well, Joe would know. He could tell us in the comments here.
Joe won't tell us, or he'll say, she was there, and then it'll come out tomorrow and she's not there, or vice versa. He's a sneaky little bugger, that guy.
It's kind of like a draft, right? I mean, everyone's trying, you're like a high draft pick, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty cool, Samantha.
Oh, so AI is helping you. Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. It helps with a lot of different things. I could have been a much better director at the hospital I worked at before if this would have helped me write some memos. Like, where was AI back then? I just had my co-manager, bless her soul, love her to death still to this day, but I would just look at her and go, is this how this is supposed to be? Like, I don't know. Is this how we write this kind of proposal? I don't know. There was Google, at least. I don't know how people did it before that, but really would have liked AI.
So my friend sent me the other
Hi,
day
Tony.
an email from, it was something from his work, and they forgot, they wrote an email using Chat GPT, and they forgot to like remove the little disclaimer at the bottom, like, if there's anything you would like to change.
Oh,
He's like, I forwarded it to
man.
everybody I know. This is so hilarious. I'm like, yeah, you don't really want to get called out on that, even though
Careful on that
everybody's
cut and
doing it.
paste.
Yeah. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will have to see what Molly says on the podcast. I know. I'm also disappointed in Ray with the diamond. It's so sad. He's working on my contract. All right. Well, we'll see. I also need a time change, apparently. So there's that.
You have lots of demands. She's not easy. I'm going to tell you this right now, Joe. She is not easy.
Be careful what you wish for.
They don't realize how high maintenance I am. I mean, my husband does bring me coffee and make me breakfast at my desk every morning. Like, I'm used to a certain way of life here. Oh, all right. What are you listing this afternoon?
Well, I was going to say, I was shout out to Frizzy Finds. I've been watching their YouTube channel, the Pop channel. Yeah.
Packing Orders podcast. There we go.
Yeah, but they're not actually packing.
Finally,
but
you
honestly,
got it,
I prefer,
Samantha. Yes.
the couch format. But anyways,
I do. Yeah.
the only thing that drives me crazy is they're about 14 episodes in, and they're kind of long podcasts. They're about an hour long, and so usually I watch them, up to a point. Maybe I get 30 minutes through, and I'm going to go back.
And that's how you can only take Johnny in 30-minute increments. That makes sense.
No, I mean,
yeah.
It is a really interesting, husband wife dynamic, but I'm frustrated because YouTube, it seems like, I want to like pick back up where I left over, and then it like YouTube is like trying to give them extra money because it keeps sending me back to like one that I've already watched all the way through. And then I hear Johnny tell a joke, and I'm like, I've heard that joke before. Damn it! Like,
he might just be repeating them. He might just be repeating the jokes. I mean, there's that possibility.
He is getting older. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So I think I've gotten through all of them. I don't know.
Well, now you have to go back and watch them again just to be sure.
No, I can't.
It's only got like 6 jokes. I have to hide the screen when I listen to their podcast because I love it. It's like I'm hanging out with them, and I love that couple. They're fantastic. But if it's on my screen, I get distracted by their beautiful cats. And they just like curl right up on Lizzie's lap, and they're just they're so cute. And I never want to own cats again, but at the same time super miss my cats. So yes.
Yeah. So I had last night, or I guess it was the night before, I went upstairs, and I didn't have the lights on, and I have a white carpet in my living room, and I see this black thing, right? It's like this big, and it looks like something that's curled up on my carpet. I'm freaking out because I can't get to the light switch. I'm like, oh my God, is it like a rat? Like, what is on my carpet, right? And before I got to the light switch, I was like, oh my gosh, I think it's a kitten. Like, literally somehow got in my house and is curled up on the carpet. And I got really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a cat.
Some magical wishes there.
Magical wishes.
Your mind really goes places.
Yeah, it was sleeping like, very soundly.
In an instant, you were like, oh, I've got a cat.
Yeah, I realized how much I wanted a cat at that moment. And so I flipped the light switch on, and it was my robot vacuum had like lost the back of it had fallen off. It was sitting there.
It was a broken Roomba. Oh, that was so disappointing.
Yeah, I was so disappointed.
So when are you going to the Humane Society to get yourself a kitten? This sounds
Johnny and
like
Lizzie can hook her up. They have plenty of cats.
Oh,
all
gosh.
right. Pick one up
I
next
literally
time
think
you.
that in one of their videos they said they just had one show up at their house, so they just got another cat. So yeah, they definitely can help you out.
I have a friend that does that. He has 6 cats because they have just randomly showed up, and he spoils them rotten. But he also has raccoons that show up on his porch,
Oh,
and now
wow.
he feeds the raccoons, but which I'm normally totally against, and you shouldn't do that, especially animals like that, because they can seem real domesticated sometimes, and they're still very
Except it
wild.
could be a really good YouTube channel.
He could do
Get
a great YouTube
monetized
channel.
very fast.
Yes. But he has one raccoon that we don't know what happened, but for the last 3 years it has survived, and I think it's because of Scott. It doesn't have a bottom jaw.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he hand feeds it peanut butter and jellies that he dunks in water and feeds the raccoon on his porch while his cats watch him through their screen door. Like, it is, he would have a great
Imagine what
YouTube
the
channel.
cats are
that
thinking.
totally needs to be a YouTube channel.
It
Yes.
should. He's like a doctor and stuff, so he doesn't have time for that. But yeah.
Wow. Let's hope that raccoon doesn't get rabies.
Right.
Thing about wild animals, they don't get vaccines, so you got to be a little careful with them. Good for him
Yeah.
for being a kind-hearted
Yeah.
person.
It's weird, but yeah. All right, things happen for a reason, Libby. Yes, you think wild thoughts because you need to go get a kitty cat.
Things do not happen for a reason, Vanessa. Vanessa and I argue about this all the time.
When I feed the neighbor's cats, our cats just stare in disgust. Quit feeding the neighborhood cats. I had to tell this, I had to break this to my daughter one time because she's like, Mom, I don't think that this cat has a home. And it was, we would go for our morning walk. Maria and I would go early in the morning. We'd walk around the neighborhood and we'd come back. And halfway through the neighborhood, we'd pick up this freaking cat that would just follow us around. And we'd come home. And the one day he is meowing incessantly outside of our bathroom window. And I am like trying to get ready for the day. And I'm like, Maria, that cat, we cannot pet that cat anymore. We cannot even look at that cat anymore because he is now here expecting love and attention. And we have to go to school and work. And she goes, well, Mom, we're out of tuna fish. And I normally give him a can of tuna when we get home in the morning from our walk. And I'm like, Maria,
That explains it.
you cannot do that. He was a perfectly fed and well healthy cat. I'm pretty sure he had a collar with tags. He was loved. Somebody loved him.
And he loved y'all.
That's a good point. How would he contract rabies? If
saliva, through the saliva. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Scientifically,
how do I know this?
Scientifically, I understand.
Oh, the scientist, the microbiologist here.
Oh, I know this from personal experience. Unfortunately, not from.
Have you made out with a raccoon? Did you have to get a rabies round?
I do have a rabid raccoon story that is so traumatic from childhood, but I'll save that for another day.
Okay.
Oh, but all right. Everybody tune in next Wednesday.
Watch Reseller Reflection.
Yeah. Let's get Libby.
But I did wake up I did wake up one night, and I was pregnant with my son, and I had a bat on my hand. And were you ever so scared you couldn't scream?
Yeah.
That's what that felt like. I couldn't scream. Like, literally, my husband was right next to me. I was so petrified. I couldn't scream, and the bat wouldn't come off of my hand, and I couldn't move. And I was like, shaking it or whatever. And, I found out after the fact that you can, just from having it like land on your hand, if it's rabid, you can contract rabies. It doesn't have to be a bite. It doesn't have to be anything like that. But you can contract rabies.
And then you had to go through that terrible series of shots.
I did not go through the terrible series of shots because it wasn't until too many days later that I'd found this. So my friend was a doctor, and he kept coming to the house to like check on me, and I didn't know why, because you're not supposed to get the shots if you're pregnant, whatever. Yeah. So it wasn't until after the time had passed that they, kindly broke the news to me that I could have had rabies just from the bat being on my hand.
the reason we've been watching you so closely for the last 6 weeks.
Right. I was like, why is he stopping over at my house every day? Like, this is weird.
Aw.
Libby, I just remembered one of the reasons you wanted me to come on was to talk about the 12-week year lunch and learn.
Snap.
I got so distracted with all your stories.
We haven't talked about it all. But wait, there's a feral cat in their neighborhood. It has junk in its eyes, so they call her Cruds. That's adorable. I once had a cat named Sniffles because she was just always sniffling. And then there's one they don't like, and they just call it that black cat. That poor cat. No wonder it doesn't like you. Hello. Oh, she's looking at my ancient cat, Johnny BA, because he's a badass.
So yeah, let's. We have like 0 minutes left, but we're going to
Looking
go
at the
ahead.
clock, and I was like, yeah, we better get this in.
12-week year anyway.
Yeah, so we've got our second lunch and learn coming up in the Patreon tomorrow on Thursday at 1:00 Eastern. It's the free level of Patreon, so anybody could join and jump in and take part in this. We have a little presentation that Libby and I are going to kind of do, but while we're doing that, we're going to be just getting lots of commentary and feedback from the people who have been doing the 12-week year with us during 2025. And the whole idea is just to kind of introduce the book and the principles of the book that we have all been working to adopt into our lives. And then with the idea that if people want to join in 2026, when we start back up in January with the new cycle, that they could do that. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, we'd welcome you to come at 1:00 tomorrow. Just have to join the free level of the Consignment Chats Patreon. Did I do that right? Does that sound okay?
You did great.
Absolutely.
I'm like a Molly, just like
I love it. Yeah. Is Patreon one of those like triggers? Like we're sending somebody to another platform? Are we supposed to not type that anymore? I love how that should be. We're like, come join us for like learning and knowledge. And really, we should be like, there'll be an after hours with the rabid raccoon story. I can't even say it. I can't even.
We know what's funny about that with was it the Nashville Flippers? They have this running joke about the raccoon and Stuart. So it's funny that you have a rabid raccoon story about that.
Oh yes, Finders Flippers podcast.
Finders Flippers, yeah. I'm sorry, I get them all. There's so many podcasts. I get them confused.
They're from Nashville, a couple of them. So yeah, that makes sense. Visit Knoxville.com.
The Knoxville.
And I have to say, like the part 1 of the lunch and learn that we did last week, like you could jump in on part 2. It was totally cool. It was so good. Like
so good.
It was, and having even gone through the 12-week year, like I was like, oh wait, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that, or I haven't really delved into that. It was so good to hear everybody's like input and new people that haven't done the 12-week year, their comments and their opinions on it were fantastic.
It was really good, and I'm really hoping that those people stick around and that they want to really crush their 2026 goals, because they already had good questions and good conversations. So I love that.
So in the YouTube channel, that first, it's not the version that has all the conversation, but the first version of the presentation is out on y'all's YouTube channel. People can go watch that. And then, Libby, is it right that if they join the Patreon, they can find the recorded version? Or
you can have access to the private video if you're in our Patreon, where you can hear the discussion and just people talking very candidly about their experience with the 12-week year and hear all the questions.
And that is sponsored by American Bubble Boy this month. They are sponsoring our lunch and learn. So thank you. You can use their QR code here. You can use the code on our website, consignmentchats.com, and get all of your shipping supplies, which is not just bubble wrap, guys. Every week I'm going to tell you, regardless of if they sponsor us or not, I'm going to tell you, this plastic wrap, because I just wrapped this annoying puzzle, took 2 little wraps around, boom. I can toss it around now. It's fine.
Love that plastic wrap. I love American Bubble Boy. I'm thinking we're going to have them on either a live or an episode, have him on, because the business they run, Jason, you will be blown away about this, how this guy has pumpkin planned like to get us the best bubble wrap in the fastest time at the cheapest price. And just the fact that they're sponsoring one of our books is like so phenomenal because
Yeah, it's
I
definitely
think they are walking
the
the
whole
walk
story.
for sure.
They now
It's
just opened their
impressive.
like 10th distribution center or something.
Wow.
He told us about some of the stuff that he's working on for the future, and whew, it sounds amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they hooked everybody up at the meetup, the meetup that we talked about last week that Johnny and Lizzie and Molly did in Greensboro. Yes, they really set you guys up good. They sent, I can't believe it. They actually sent this wrap and then the tape that we talked about. And yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited for Jason to hear Joel talk. I think it's going to be great.
I want to actually hear Jill say it like Mr. T. Don't be a fool. Join the conversation tomorrow.
Maybe she'll say it in our P word group.
Yes, everybody come to the P word group. And you'll get to hear about rabid raccoons and Jill say she pities a fool. That's great.
I haven't heard that in forever. My gosh.
I'm almost surprised Samantha's old enough to know the A-Team and Mr. T.
Oh, I don't know any of that. I just know that
I was gonna
phrase.
say.
I just know
okay.
that phrase, and I can picture him and his
Right.
Yeah, but that's all I got. That's it. Hammer time? Same guy, right? No. Okay. See? Don't know it.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was
Millennial,
not
don't
allowed
worry.
to watch, Mr. T. What was it?
Libby doesn't even know.
I was not allowed to watch. It was like a big thing in my house. Like
Really?
you can't watch.
The
All my
A-Team
friends
or-
watched it. The A-Team, like all my friends
Oh,
watched it. I would
huge.
beg and plead, and it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate.
No,
At
it's
some
like,
point, I was allowed to watch it, but it took a long time and
Wow.
a lot of yeah.
It's
Hope
a great
Vanessa
show.
would like the QR code again. Here you go, Vanessa. For those of you watching us on the big screen, we do these QR codes so that you don't have to be on your computer clicking links. You can just snap that. Boom. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should take it off before I change screens. That'd be cool. Okay.
All right. Well, we got to get over to our P word. We have to go over to our Patreon group, and we're doing our.
Oh, I have to
Come
post
list
the
with
link.
us.
I have to post the link for Come List With Us because it's in like 2 minutes. So yeah, everybody go to our P word and in the Patreon. It's not free. You do have to pay for that part, but we list together every Wednesday. So
because we can't spend all day talking about rabid raccoons, and we have to actually get the work done and focus on our businesses, and we are very, very committed to that. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me on, and I know you are going to have some more guests in the future. I'm looking forward to seeing who else comes on.
So next week we have Melanie of Retail Therapist. Yes. And she's going to talk about total pivot she did with her business, which is so interesting. And the week after that, we're going to have Anna Packer from the Seller Club podcast. And well, we talked a lot about them today. So it'll be interesting to visit with her and get her take on all of this stuff.
Yeah. And the origin of an e-basement.
The e-basement. It is now part of I've heard a couple people use it in the past day or two. It's the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to find out if she has that like copyrighted or trademarked or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're already getting some cheers. There we go. All right, guys. We will see you over in the Patreon in a little bit. Everybody have an awesome day. And am I the only one? There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't yell at me for now.